nice, man. Yeah, I like those pants. Thank you. I like this. The last two episodes I've recorded on Saturday mornings. I've done that. Like I wore pants I haven't worn in a while on the Friday night, and I was like, "Fuck it, let me run it back Saturday."
Yeah, that's one thing that you got to get used to in New York. I feel like because you end up seeing people so much, and there's so many social events, and like I only have so many clothes.
That's what I'm
Like,
saying. And there's some outfit watchers out there too, man.
yeah,
I'm
one of
like,
them. I'm one of them.
yeah. So you're an outfit watcher, but
Yeah.
we're all outfit repeaters. We're also recording, by the way, but we're just,
Oh, okay.
yeah. So just make sure you speak into the mic. But yeah, no, that is, and that is something that I try to be conscious about. Is like, okay, again, we all have a limited range of outfits. Every single person does, and I have, we all go out a lot. I do this podcast. I try not to repeat outfits for the podcast. When I'm going out, I try not to repeat outfits. If I post on Instagram, I'm like, can I repeat the same outfit? It's hard, but it's like, just don't be an outfit watcher.
Yeah, well, I am an outfit watcher, mostly just, from being a hater. I don't want anybody doing too much better than me. I feel like if I see people switching up their clothes too much, they got too many outfits, and I'm curious as to where they came from. So,
wow. Oh, so
no, I'm playing. I'm just.
I was about to say that sounds like if you got too many outfits, problem. If you repeat the outfit, same outfit, problem. But oh well. Anyways, all right, everybody. I've been liking these cold openings. I did the exact same thing the last one. We just started recording. We just get into it. I kind of like that opening. But welcome to another episode of Go with the Flow. I'm your host Folarin Okulaja, here with another special guest in the building. Welcome to the show, Nate Martin.
Yeah, I'm sure I've been very highly requested.
The people I've been getting a lot of. First of all, Nate is a highly requested individual. If you know what I mean. He is highly requested. So I mean, just because of that, I was like, honestly, yeah, the podcast would be a great avenue for people to get to know this fine young man over here. Okay, who just moved to the city. He's bubbling up a lot of interests out here. I'm kidding. Welcome to the show, Nate.
I'm a terrible person. Surprise.
No, he's a great guy. Okay, can you, before we get into things, tell the people who you are. Who is Nate?
Yeah, well, I'm Nate. I'm Flo's friend. I'm born and raised like right outside of Washington, D.C. in Northern Virginia. And then got a little bit older and moved into Northern Virginia. I went to college in Boston and then just moved to New York not that long ago, like a month and a half ago.
And we're going to get much more into your move into New York City. But first, you went to Emerson College.
Yeah.
Tell me about that experience. Because I don't think I'd heard of Emerson until I met you.
Yeah, whenever I tell people, they always mistake it for Emory, which is in Atlanta.
In Atlanta, yep.
Very different place from Emory or anywhere else. Emerson's a very interesting place, very artsy school. There's a lot of people there that are studying to like work in the entertainment business and stuff like that. So very creative stuff, very creative people, a lot of creative stuff going on. A lot of people there are super into movies and screenwriting, production. Like most of the most famous alums are like actors and producers and stuff like that.
I was just about to say, because I looked that up. I was like, who are the most notable alumni that went to Emerson? Who in your mind do you think? Because I'm looking at a list right now. Who do you?
It depends who you are. I would say like the most well-known nationally is probably like Jay Leno.
Yeah.
But then within like sports, like if you watch the NBA, Sam Presti went to Emerson.
Who?
The GM for the Thunder.
Oh, Sam Presti. Oh, wow.
Yeah, he's a very cool guy. Same with Will Dawkins, the GM for the Wizards.
Okay, I didn't even.
Yeah, and they're both super cool people. They're pretty accessible. I think because Emerson is a small school, like when you meet successful Emerson alums, they
look out.
Yeah. And then let's see what else. Yeah, also it was like interesting too because in high school I always identified as somebody that liked movies. But then, and I still do, but I would be like, I'm a movie person.
Yeah.
And then I got to Emerson, and I met people that watched everything, like black and white movies with no sound and stuff like that. And I was like, yeah, okay, maybe I'm not a movie person.
You're casual. You're casual.
Movies, yeah.
I mean, a couple more famous alumni: Bill Burr.
Yeah, Bill Burr.
Henry Winkler, and Jennifer Coolidge, who's been popping off after. She was on that was on that TV show that just happened.
Really?
Hold on. What's the name of the show? Why am I blanking on the name?
It's somebody from How to Get Away with Murder.
White Lotus, that's what she was on. Oh, okay. So just, a lot of people in film, TV. Yeah. But okay, so you also were a hooper.
Yeah.
Nate's a hooper. Played basketball.
Yeah, in my past life.
So tell me, who put a basketball in your hands? Which that was me making fun of the podcast
Oh my God,
because
yeah.
that guy always
What
asks
was
that
your
same
what was your
question.
welcome to the league
Well,
moment?
yeah. So who first put a basketball in your hand?
I mean, all right, was that like a serious
It was
question?
a real question. Yeah.
Okay, yeah. I mean, so I kind of grew up in my family. There weren't a whole bunch of basketball players.
Shout out Chris.
Yeah, Chris is not a basketball. He's actually good. He's a very good pickup player. He was a decent high school player, but he was more of a football guy. But I would say, like my dad. You know, he probably did just because he was a fan. He was a sports fan.
Mhm.
So just by that, and then also when I was pretty young, Michael Jordan was on the Wizards. And I didn't know that he ever played for the Bulls. So I'm always thinking like, oh, like the greatest basketball player ever, like plays down the street, you know? So it was always kind of just around and then I gravitated to it. I mean, it kind of came naturally to me when I was super young. And like, I was just in, you know, my backyard, but I'm thinking I'm like the greatest 5-year-old ever at this time. Cause I never seen somebody else like play. That was my age at that time. So
I
I'm
remember
like, I'm nice.
Yeah, no, that was me
Yeah.
too. I remember when we moved to North Carolina when I was 9 years old. When we moved from Nigeria. Oh no, when we moved to New Jersey, sorry. I was 11.
Yeah.
And we had a basketball court in our neighborhood and I never played before, but I started playing. And I was like, oh my God, like I'm gonna get discovered. I'm gonna be in the NBA in like 10 years. That's how I thought, yeah.
Yeah, for sure. And then also like it's just a very competitive basketball place. Like in our high school conference, there was like 7 teams, and there might have been like 5 people that went to the NBA.
Damn, name names.
Sadiq Bey, Luka Garza, and then there's a lot of people that kind of had a cup of tea in the NBA.
Okay.
Like Justin Robinson, Anthony DeRozzi.
Did you play against Josh Hart too? Or was that just Grant?
Nah, Josh was older than me.
Okay.
And you know, Grant's a lot older, so he played against Josh Hart.
He said emphasis on the line. No, I'm playing.
Yeah.
Shout out Grant. Nah, we didn't mean that.
Yeah. No, Grant's old. I tell him all the time. Nah, I joke.
Senior citizen. Nah, he's not that old. He's not that old. Okay, so I have your stats up here.
Oh, chill.
I want to play a little trivia. Do you remember what your career high in points were?
33.
According to this, you might need to get this refresh. This is for the 22-23 season. Oh, okay. I guess for that season, do you remember what your career high was?
26.
Yeah. Okay. What was your most 3-pointers made in the game?
5.
Yeah. Most free throws made. Damn, man, I was getting to the line.
I'm a narcissist. I'm gonna know this. when it comes to sports, I was not in life, but within basketball for sure. It was probably 12. I was 12 for 14.
No, you were 14 for 15 against Coast Guard, which I didn't even know Coast Guard had a basketball team.
Oh my God, yo, most annoying team ever to play against. They were never that good, but they were just always very strong, very athletic, very good swimmers.
Makes sense. Oh, what does swimmers have to do? Does that translate to basketball?
Well, you know they got long arms.
Okay.
They got like really strong backs.
Okay.
Like they're just all very diesel and like in crazy shape.
Okay.
And they run the whole time. And like you got to think they're used to being taught to by like drill sergeants and stuff, whatever. So this is their 2 hours of freedom. So they're gonna have fun out there. They play with so much energy. And they're just very like strict, but it was always weird. Like they would do the national anthem before the game, and you look over, they're all like, relax.
What was MIT like? What was their basketball team like?
I never talked trash to them just in case.
In case what? They're like, future president one day or some shit?
Yeah.
Oh, MIT doesn't produce presidents. They produce like
People with a lot of money.
Exactly. More that
just
than
in
presidents.
case.
Yeah.
So I was always kind to them. They were never they were never that good. No, that's not true. My freshman year, they were really good. They had this kid that was like he played for like the French national team.
Damn. Is he at the Olympics right now?
Not anymore. Now he's like works for NASA or something.
Oh, okay. I was gonna say like a bank.
They had a bunch of those.
Yeah. When was your growth spurt, by the way?
Probably like my junior year of high school.
When did you dunk for the first time?
My sophomore year of high school.
Sophomore year of high
I
school.
was like 15.
Okay.
16.
I think also was I a sophomore? Either sophomore or junior year.
Yeah.
When did you dunk for the first time in a game?
In a game, my senior year of high school.
Nice.
Oh no, my junior year, but it was in AAU.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, that counts. I had 2 missed in-game dunks in my career.
Nice. I had a lot of missed in game. I had way more missed dunks.
It was always off the back of the rim.
Yeah.
But okay, so Hooper in college.
Yeah.
And then you got your master's, stayed in the Boston area, and then you recently moved to the Big Apple.
Yeah, for sure. That was the thing too about like playing Division III basketball. Is it depends on like who you are and how you treat it, but at the time, obviously, I mean it means a lot to everybody, but I spent so much time on that, like just playing and training. Obviously in the season you go to practice and stuff like that, but even in the off season I was pretty occupied with basketball. And then one day it ends, and some people do go and play pro from D3. Like I had teammates that could have. One of my coaches wanted me to go play in Korea, but I didn't want to do that.
Did one of your teammates was there on the summer league with the Miami Heat?
Yeah. Well, he was coaching.
Oh, he's a coach.
That's the thing. But it's crazy. It's crazy. He's so nice that because he was an All-American in college. He was dumb nice, and like their coach in practice has to tell him to chill when he's playing scout.
Damn.
He's out there cooking.
No, that's funny.
Yeah. No, he's nice. Shout out to Jared. Yeah, he won a summer league championship as a coach in
Shout
his
out
first
Jared.
year. And he's like a G League assistant coach, like
That's
2
pretty
years
dope.
into his career, which is fire.
That's pretty dope.
Yeah.
Okay, what are your thoughts on NYC so far?
Oh my God, it's a lot of fun. Met a ton of people. It's very expensive.
So expensive.
Yeah, it was an easy transition though, just because I had so many like friends already in the city, and then obviously being grateful to have like met you and Obi and Shaq and all the people through Grant, and then just seeing other people around. That's made it like an easy transition. But it's been crazy different because I would say like in my past year, that was like the most comfortable situation I could have been in before I moved here. Because I mean, being at Emerson, and I did my master's there after I finished undergrad. So I was like one of the only people that did both, like undergrad there and like the grad program. So I knew where everything was. Everybody else was kind of adjusting, figuring out where buildings are, who professors are and stuff like that. I already knew. And then even with like sports, because of COVID, like I had the extra year. So like in my 5th year, I'm walking in the athletic office. I know everybody. I know all the coaches, like super comfortable. And then now everything is new. So in that way, it's been a big transition. Plus, I was living alone, and there would be like weeks sometimes where I'm barely talking to anybody.
Damn.
Outside of like passing conversation.
Yeah.
And whereas now like meeting new people like every day. So it's been cool. It's definitely been kind of overwhelming.
I was just about to say, is it overwhelming?
Yeah, but it's nice, and I'm super happy for it. I feel like, especially in your 20s, like everybody says New York is a good place to be, and I agree.
I think so too. I feel like a summer in New York City, there's nowhere else I would want to be in my 20s. Summer in New York is special.
I do got something to get off my chest.
Let's hear it.
And listen, no disrespect to I'm gonna preface this. I like Afro beats.
Okay.
I listen to Afro beats on my own time.
Okay.
And I got respect for all my African friends.
Yep.
And all the African people.
Yep. I got respect for the Africans.
Let's get this out of the way.
Yep.
Yeah. But I've had enough. I am sick and tired of hearing only like strictly Afro beats when I go out. I'm a hip hop R&B guy to the core. And I look at certain people. I don't know what you did to my friend Grant. But he went to school, and then he came to New York, and now we go out. He knows all the words to these songs, these African songs. I'm like, yo, you don't even speak this language. Where did you learn all this? He's doing all the dances and stuff. I'm like, when'd you start doing this?
Bro, first of all, I will say, Grant, he's just Nigerian at heart.
No.
No. That's a Nigerian man. Now we call him Oluwa Grant. Like that's a Nigerian man. We're all going to Nigeria in December. He will be so at home there. I can't wait for that.
Yeah.
But that also I didn't even know he didn't previously listen to Afrobeats beforehand. He's just shout out Grant. But that we do love Afrobeats. But my pushback is we don't even solely go to spots to play Afrobeats. Although now that I'm thinking, you've only been here a month and a half.
Yeah.
And so maybe, okay, fair. It has leaned heavy Afrobeats in the last month and a half, especially when we go to places in Brooklyn.
Yeah.
Or if we're throwing a party and so we bring the DJ, that's what we're going to want to hear. But there's spots we go to that's not. You know what? Are you going out with us this afternoon?
I don't know. Maybe not.
Okay.
I gotta save my money. But I might. I'll
Okay.
call it.
Because it's not, our afternoon will be not Afrobeats heavy.
All right, gotcha.
So,
Yeah, no, I like Afrobeats.
yeah,
It's
but
cool.
you've had enough of it.
It's okay. I have not had enough of it like in life, but just when I go out, that's not what I want to like dance to all the time.
Fair. So then you just got to pick the spots you go to wisely.
Yeah, for sure. But
Because
then
there's
also,
certain
like,
spots you go to, like, you know you're going to get Afrobeats.
Yeah,
and
for sure.
there's no ifs, ands, or buts about it.
Yeah, and people like it. That's the other thing too. It's like I don't want to, be that guy because obviously I see people have fun. And the other thing too is I do listen to Afrobeats, but sometimes I feel old because for example, all the songs will kind of start to blend into me.
Fair.
And I'll be like, yeah, it's kind of low-key all sounds the same.
Fair.
But I'll think about it and be like, okay, well, if I had never heard like rap music before, or if I had never heard like R&B music before, like the type of stuff I mainly listen to, and I was just kind of getting introduced to it, which not that I'm getting introduced to Afrobeats, but maybe I haven't heard this much like just out.
Yeah.
Maybe I would think the same thing if I was like still getting adjusted.
Yeah, which is, I'm not even mad at you saying that or when people say a lot of it sounds the same. I feel like exactly like what you just said, when you are new to a genre, it is easy to feel that way. A lot of people feel that way about like mumble rap or even just certain types of rap in general.
Yeah.
So I'm not mad at that take. And I also imagine you weren't getting a lot of Afrobeats in Boston.
Hell no. Absolutely not. That's part of why I didn't go out in Boston, because it was only like Unz music. Unless you went to specific places where the cover is like $40.
Yeah.
And I wasn't going to do that.
I mean,
Or like if you really travel, like leave downtown. But yeah, I mean, I think it's something about like the drums and like just kind of the rhythms. You know what I
it just
mean?
makes you want to dance. It's just like feel good music. It makes you want to move. It's fun. It's fun.
Yeah.
But you know, shout out Grant that's a Nigerian man.
OD. I don't.
Yeah. But what was there anything that you did prefer about Boston over your experience in? Because again, New York's been a short time, but anything you liked better about it?
Nah. Not really. Boston is
Not even the clam chowder. They got better clam chowder out there.
Honestly, you could probably find some better clam chowder somewhere in New York. I mean, Boston, the clam chowder, it was good. I only had it a couple of times, but you can't do anything for the rest of your day after you eat some clam chowder.
Fair
like,
enough.
That'll kind of sit on you or sit in your stomach. But it was cool. I probably miss some of the people.
Okay.
But in terms of like the city itself, I mean, dog, I was pretty bored up there.
Fair enough. And now, which we've spoken about a little bit already, there's so much to do here. It is overwhelming. I'm to the point where I get a particle, it gives me anxiety. I'm like, I can't do this.
Oh my God.
There's too much going on. But so but you came in peak summer when people will tend to be going out a lot more.
Yeah.
What are you looking forward to most about the post-summer period about New York City? When inevitably the rate of going out slows down drastically, what are you looking for? Honestly, even two-parter. When you were moving here, what were you looking forward to the most about New York? And then in this calmer phase that will come post Labor Day, what are you most excited about then?
Honestly, I would say like in my past couple of years, obviously I would come down and stay with you guys all the time, like stay on the couch. And I was still in school and like I was getting my master's, but I did not know what was next for me. And like I didn't have a plan. I'm not in finance like so many of the people are here, and like you guys, and like a lot of my friends here. So I feel like in finance, there's like a pretty straightforward, like linear path that like a lot of people take. And I didn't have that. And I didn't know what was next for me. And I would always come down and it seemed like everybody was doing so well for themselves and like for, their age and where they're at in their career. I was always like, oh my God, this is like such a cool community. But I would definitely feel kind of anxious. I was like, oh yeah, I really don't know what I'm gonna do. And it was kind of like outside looking in type of feeling. So that was I didn't know exactly what to expect, but I knew I was going to meet a lot of people. And I knew that every time I came, I had fun. So I was like, I think this would be a good place to be. Plus, there's like a lot of opportunity here. So I don't know if I fully had expectations, but that was kind of always my impression of it. And then I would say coming here, I don't know if I've like fully settled in enough to like give a super fleshed out answer to how it's like met my expectations or hasn't. But I think because there has been so much going on, I haven't had as much time to just chill.
Yeah.
So I'm kind of looking forward to that. Plus, it is so hot. And you know me, like we go out together, I sweat. I'm sick and tired of that, yo. It's very uncool. And so I'm looking forward to the temperature cooling down a little bit. And like there being slightly less going on. I think the other thing too is like since I am here, like I'm used to turning down a lot of like just not invitations, but there's always something to no matter where you are, there's going to be like something to do.
Yeah.
And I was used to spending so much time by myself and kind of just chilling. Whereas like now I feel like, oh, I'm new to the city. Like the rent here is very expensive. I would like to get my like money's worth of just the whole experience.
Yeah.
So I'm like, you know what, let me push myself to go out and meet people. So I would like to get through that phase and feel like, you know what, I've met enough people. Let me stay in the house.
Which honestly, that is such a natural thing. I've said this so
Yeah.
many times. I feel like I meet so many people between the months of April to August, and then I make no new friends the rest of the months. Because again, when people, so that'll just happen naturally.
Yeah.
This is when you are supposed to be outside meeting a lot of different people, and then when everyone starts to hibernate, and then it's a lot more intimate things like game nights, or you just don't even go out at all
Yeah.
over the winter. Then you're just not exposed to nearly as many people.
Yeah.
But back to what you were saying earlier about when you would come here and you saw most of us were working in finance, which most of us do work in finance. I feel like I appreciate that you're not in finance.
Oh, thanks.
I appreciate that because I remember I looked up one time and I was like, why is my entire network just like doing the exact same thing?
Yeah.
It's kind of not boring. Well, yeah, it is boring actually. And as much as our friends are going to be very successful, I feel like I'm going to be very successful. There's just so many other industries and fields in the world to tap into and have people rise through those ranks. We don't need everybody to be CIO of this company, CEO of this finance company, PM. Like if we just, again, so that's why like it's you are a welcome addition because again, fresh perspective, different. Everyone has a different background, but you're again different background.
Yeah.
Emerson, basketball, non-finance. That is a unique perspective
Yeah.
to the rest of us who are just like finance, 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 finance.
Yeah.
And so I feel like even the first year was again, I looked up one day, I was like, everyone I know is in finance. And so in the last year, I've tried to be more conscious about just trying to go in different spaces where I'm going to meet people doing different things. And so it's interesting that when you were, I mean, I guess, yes, we're successful for our ages, I guess, but even then, I'm like, there's more to be doing, even
Yeah.
though, like, yes, this is a linear path to success. Let's try to branch out and kind of conquer the world in different places, not just through this one realm.
Yeah, for sure. And then also like obviously it depends like how you define success. You know what I mean? Like you could make a lot of money and be a bad person. So there's definitely a lot of layers to it. I'm curious though, like kind of on that note, what made you want to start doing this? Where did you know before you came to New York and started working? Like, did you know when you were in college that you wanted to do a podcast?
Before short answer is before did I know before I wanted to move to the city and started work that I wanted to do the podcast? Yes, because I started it in college. So I started it my junior spring,
Yeah.
and I just like talking to people. I love connecting with people. I think I said this a few episodes ago. We're all the literal reason I started was because we are all so much more similar than we are different. And I was meeting all these people on campus that I wanted to kind of have come to this platform to share with people the things that they're involved in and just show the humanity in them. And so that's why I did it. Recorded with 3 of my best friends the first 3 episodes.
Yeah.
Loved it. And I was like, as long as I can find guests, I'm going to keep putting them out. So,
Yeah, that's fine, man.
and then when I came to the city, I knew that I would keep it. Like, I'm just, go with the flow's not going anywhere. Like,
Yeah.
it's here. I'm in such a good groove with it. Sometimes it's,
Yeah, look at you.
like,
You're sitting back.
I'm comfortable. I'm comfortable. Yeah, I'm in a good groove. I'm in a flow. Huh.
Nice.
Pun intended. And so it's sometimes like things are busy. I'm a busy person between work,
Yeah.
travel, social life, trying to take care of myself. Like I'm busy, but I'll always make time for this little podcast that I have here.
Yeah, that's awesome. Plus, it's very natural to you. You know what I mean? Like you just come on here and be yourself.
Yeah, I just be chilling. I just be chatting.
Yeah, for sure. And that's the other thing too, is I feel like so many people want to start a podcast, and this is not, I think that you're good at this. I think that you're talented and I'm a believer. But I do think that starting a podcast is low-key a very pretentious idea. Because, I mean, for real, you're asking people for like an hour out of their day
You're
to
not wrong.
listen to you talk about
Whatever.
absolutely nothing.
Yeah,
a lot of times, you know? And I think so many people kind of just start one because they like podcasts, and that's fine.
Yeah.
But I also think that there's a skill to it. Like you can't just put mics in front of anybody.
I
Even
agree.
people that are funny. I mean, there's people that are hilarious, but it might not translate towards like content. You know what I mean? So yeah, I'm curious about that, especially because I can tell by watching that you have taken the time out to like actually refine the process of doing interviews where like and having conversations in general, whereas like a lot of people don't do that.
Yeah.
But yeah.
Yeah, no, I appreciate that. And I actually I don't even disagree with you that the idea of getting on a mic and asking people to listen and take that time of their day, it is a little pretentious.
And most of them suck.
A lot of them suck, but it's also annoying when the ones that suck. There's some podcasts that are big that suck, and I'm like,
Yeah.
I don't get it. That's the frustrating part. Is I think I'm good at this. I think the content's good, but for whatever reason, I don't market it well enough. I haven't figured out the algorithm, so it is what it is. But then you see some that do really well. I'm like, what this is? Or even like, since we're on the topic of just like bad content, those balloon popping videos, I hate them with my whole heart.
Yeah.
And I hate that they're as popular as they are. And I know that's not a podcast, but I'm now just bringing together like what I think is bad content that does do well. I think that is horrible content. I think that is
Yeah.
horrible for us as a society. I don't know why anybody watches those videos. I don't know why anyone goes on those videos, but those do such crazy numbers.
Yeah, no, I mean it's super tricky because you get engagement and you get views by being like inflammatory or offensive or just
Yeah.
being rude. Like
Yeah.
even when you look around at like Dr. Umar, for example, he is like the most he's like the most prominent, like his voice is heard more than a lot of other very like progressive, smart people
Yeah.
just because he's like rude sometimes.
Yeah, and there was the
And-
one dude, Kelvin Samuels, I think.
Yeah,
was the one who died
exactly,
a couple years ago.
exactly.
Yeah, same shit where he was just so disrespectful and rude to
Yeah.
people, and then that's what
Yeah.
becomes popular.
Whereas there are people that are like extremely smart, extremely like talented in how they articulate their ideas and can really move people by their words and like share information that is extremely meaningful and important, but they don't get as much engagement just because they're not like being rude.
But
And that's
that's
just
it.
more entertaining. That's how it works.
And that says more about us as a society, though, which is
Yeah,
kind of a
that's how it
shame.
is. Yeah,
Because
they
we
use the
eat
word,
up,
like-
it's like watching a car crash. We eat up all that stuff that's not good for us, and then the stuff
Yeah.
that is educational, good content, we're just like, nah, I don't
Yeah.
want to listen to that.
Yeah, exactly. Because they use the word attention economy, and I think that's such a good way to put it. Because even like in the actual like economy, I mean, what makes money is not always like the most productive or most of the time it is like the most harmful stuff to like actual society and people's
Yeah.
well-being. So yeah, it's tough. That's why I also think too, like a big part of making content and stuff is really just guess. Because you can have if you had a very like popular guest on, you can have a terrible conversation, but people are still gonna tune in and listen, no matter how boring it is. Whereas if you have me on, like not that this conversation is like the best ever, but if
Yeah.
it was,
Yeah.
like it doesn't matter. You know what I
But
mean?
that's
Well,
also
it
been a-
matters, but it's still like a smaller building.
That's been a tricky one because I've had some big guests on, and that always doesn't even translate into the views because, well, a big one is even if they're big guests, if they don't share it. Like I had the general manager of the Minnesota Vikings on, and I don't think he's on social media, so like
Yeah,
he wasn't going to share it. Outside of who he might like text it around, but that is probably one of the biggest guests that I've had on. Views were okay, numbers were okay, but it still wasn't like some astronomical thing just because the guest was prominent. I had the governor of New Jersey on, and even that one didn't do real numbers, even though the account like
Yeah.
retweeted it one time. So it's you never know how it works. And then some random episode will get like a lot more views. So
Yeah.
that's when I say I haven't figured this algorithm thing out.
Yeah,
It's so hard to it's a
Yeah,
lot to figure out. But yeah.
I think. Oh, go ahead.
No, I was just gonna say I hate I was just gonna say I say all that to say I hate those balloon popping
Oh
videos.
my god, yeah.
They are bad for us as a society, and we should all stop giving those views.
I agree. I think there's a lot of things that we should stop giving views to. But the balloon popping videos, I hate to say it, that is one of my guilty pleasures. But I can feel myself getting dumber. Like after I watch them, I have to go and read some pages out of a book.
Yeah,
make sure I'm
you
balancing it out.
lose brain cells when you watch those. But okay, skipping ahead to
Yeah, I got
skipping
you.
ahead to the past. I'm
Yeah.
sorry.
My bad. I hope I'm not messing up your.
No, you're not. Oh no, this is amazing. No, this is
Okay, cool.
this is good. This is what I love about the podcast. I love when we get into things that we didn't plan on because of the natural flow of the conversation. So don't apologize.
Gotcha,
That's
cool, cool.
that's why we're on a podcast. But we both did a little bit of traveling earlier this summer.
Yeah.
We both had European summers. You were in a couple different countries. Tell the people where you were.
Yeah, I went to Switzerland. It was all one trip. It was all one trip. I was in Paris, Switzerland, and Lake Como. It was cool.
Which was your favorite out of the three?
Probably Lake Como. It was really nice. It was raining. I was only there for 2 nights.
I didn't
and,
even
like,
think it rained in a place like that. They're so beautiful.
Yeah,
It's so
yeah.
picturesque.
yeah, and like the second night I had to leave, but it was raining the whole time, so that was kind of a bummer. But it was still cool, and I could tell that when it. I mean, it was fun anyways. But if it wasn't raining, I was like, oh, this is a really pretty place. It felt like a Bond movie or something.
Oh yeah, and I've never been, but there's so many weddings that happen there that I don't even know if I want a destination wedding. But I see all those pictures, I'm like, should I get married in Lake Como?
When that happens, yo, like, do you pay for people's ticket?
Nah, unless you're breaded, I don't think so.
Yeah.
No.
Well, I love you. You're one of my best friends in the whole wide world. But if you have a wedding in Lake Como, I am not.
You're not going?
If you pay for my ticket, I would be there. But right now,
well, I'm not getting married.
How much time do I have to plan for this?
It's a wedding. You would have at least a year to plan.
Okay.
And we would be probably not well into ideally, I get married by anywhere from 30 to 32, I get married. So I think we'll be making more money by then. And so even if I ask you a month in advance, I think you should. Yeah, what the fuck?
Yeah, okay. I'm just playing.
I was like,
I'm half joking, but I do feel like that is low-key a big ask.
That is it, but I feel like people do that on purpose because they don't actually want everyone to come.
So you leave the broke friends at home. That's wild. What if? That's kind of wild.
Yeah, because if I do my wedding in Jersey, everybody can make that. But if I do it across the world, not everyone could make that journey. It's like, oh, like I did invite you, but you can't make it. Oops.
But what if you have like somebody very close to you that just can't swing it financially, which is very reasonable. Yeah. Right now, if somebody were to have a wedding in Lake Como, I cannot make it.
Get your bread up, man. I don't know what's. No, I'm playing. That was.
I'm
joking. I'm joking. That's a good question. That is a fair point. But again, that is a privileged thing to be able to do.
Yeah.
And so I don't know. That's a good question. I guess the hope is people are in a financial place where they can make it. But if not, maybe then you do help support. But actually, probably not.
Yeah.
Because I'm paying for a whole wedding. There's a lot of costs associated. So that's a great.
Have you ever heard about Gilbert Arenas' black card party?
No.
So this is basically how it happened. Was he was trying to renegotiate with Adidas to get a contract, and he needed to make the All-Star team and like get a certain number of votes. I think to qualify for like some level of offer and get more money. So he spent $2 million on a party, and he rented out 2 entire hotels for like 2 nights. He rented out like an entire 4 seasons, paid for everybody's room. And he rented out entire flights from like LA, New York, and somewhere else, all going to DC, and paid for people to come. And the party, like, you got an invitation just like you get a black card. I mean, not that I have one. I wouldn't know, but it comes in like a special box. There's like a lot of presentation to it. And yeah, he spent like $2 million on a party. It was a whole bunch of like wild stuff there, and like everything was free. Like you get flown out, hotel, and it's all free. Or it's not free, but it's paid for by somebody.
Yeah, but I mean. And he has the financial means to do that.
Yeah.
Like did you see the wedding for the richest family in India? I think like last name is like Ambani, Ambani, richest guy in India. And so they had the wedding was like a couple weeks ago, but there was pre-ceremonies like 6 months ago. And there was like Kim Kardashian, Justin Bieber, name was John Cena, the most random celebrities. And I imagine all these people are getting flown out.
Yeah.
But again, that's a billionaire. Yeah. We're regular people, regular guys. It's like, even when we're making money, I'm not going to be flying people out like that.
Yeah, that is true.
Unless I have it like, so that's I don't know. That's a good point. Yeah. I don't even know if I want a destination wedding. Again, I'm saying this as a single man. I need to meet the girl. And there's a lot to figure out before I get to the wedding plan. Yeah, exactly, before I get to the wedding planning itself. But that's a good question. Because I also saw this article about how there are this was mostly on the bridesmaid side, but people who are literally like going into debt to be able to pay for bachelorette parties and things of that nature. Man. Which is just, I mean, that's a tough one. It's like, should anyone be under financial distress to attend your wedding or your bachelorette party? Probably not. But if, again, ideally you do these things once in your life, and if you've had this idea of what you have and the bar is so high, I'm not mad at you not compromising because some people can't afford it.
Yeah, that is true.
If they can't make it, they can't make it.
Yeah.
I don't think you should force them to try to pay for it, but then there's a mindfuck of, I want to be there. It's tough.
Yeah.
I don't know. Yeah, it's tough. So, I mean, we'll cross that bridge when we get there.
Yeah, and no shade to anybody that wants to have a destination wedding. That's just like, I think about stuff like that.
Yeah.
Imagine 2 or 3 of your friends get married in the same year.
Which that's another one where that'll start happening.
Yeah.
We're not there yet. I've had one friend wedding. I have two other friends who are engaged. So those weddings will probably be 2025.
Mm,
Outside of that, I don't think there's anybody close. But again, I'm 24.
got it.
By the time we're like 28, 29, 30, we got a lot of, or I'm not going, I have a lot of friends.
Nice.
There's gonna be there's gonna be a lot of weddings. It's gonna be expensive.
Yeah.
I feel like there's gonna be probably a year or 2 or 3 where it's like every vacation I go on will have to be like wedding, bachelor party, wedding,
Yeah.
bachelor party, wedding.
I'll tell you, my cousin got married on Zoom. That's one of my favorite cousins too.
No, can we hear the story?
Well, it was the pandemic.
Okay,
So there was
that's an important detail.
It wasn't like it wasn't recent, but it was the pandemic. He got married on Zoom. We were all there. Whole family got around.
Did they do a real one after the pandemic ended?
What do you mean real one? That was the real one. It was cool though.
Did they do a grander ceremony after the wedding? After the pandemic ended.
Not that I didn't get the invite. I feel like I probably would have got that. Maybe not. Maybe he didn't invite me. Maybe it was in Lake Como.
Maybe he was, and he was like, Nick can't afford this.
Yeah, but it was cool. It was they got married. They had like the person that marries them. I don't know if that's a pastor or reverend or whatever. The person with the thing. Yeah. So they had them, and they were on the Zoom camera, and then we were on the chat. Like doing the hearts and stuff.
I don't mean to laugh, but that's hilarious.
Yeah, no, it was cool.
For their sake, I hope they did something else after. Even if it was just them two. Go to Vegas and just like make it as like a real thing. But the Zoom, I don't know how I feel about that.
Yeah, I don't know. I mean, yeah. But they're doing super well. They have 2 kids now.
Good for them. Shout out to them.
Yeah.
Shout out to them. How did you feel about Paris?
About Paris? It was cool. I was only there for a little bit. It was the day that everybody wanted to poop in the Seine. I was kind of upset that I missed that. I was very interested. I was like, are they really about to like go over there?
They didn't do it though, did they?
Not that I saw.
I don't think they
Not
did.
that I saw, yeah. But it was cool because they were getting ready for the Olympics, so like the rings were on there. People dress cool. It's pretty similar to DC because it's the same city planner, which I learned.
Interesting.
And you can kind of tell like it's walkable around the monuments and stuff. It's walkable in the same way. But yeah, it was cool.
I did not realize it was the same city plan, but now that you say that, that does make sense. Because me and Shek did 24 hours in Paris also.
Yeah.
And we packed a lot in, and it's such a beautiful city.
Yeah, but I was also there with my mom, and it was just me and her, so I'm sure we had a different experience.
Y'all were not at you didn't go to everyday people with your moms.
No. You know what's funny? My mom, you never met her before, I don't think.
I've never,
but she's a Korean woman, and she went to Essence Fest by accident one time.
Say more. How do you accidentally go to Essence Fest?
She went there because there was a concert. I think it was Usher or somebody like that, and she wanted to go see Usher. So she went with 3 of her other friends, all Korean women, and then they went and looked around. They were like, wait a minute, but they had a good time though.
I feel like it's probably people aren't going to turn your way. At least I hope not.
Yeah,
it'll be a welcome.
No, it wasn't. It was. She didn't tell me. She said she had a great time.
So in the 3 places that you went, did you do anything that you would consider touristy?
Yeah. I mean, I did a lot of touristy stuff, especially in Switzerland because kind of just wanted to see everything. So like just walked around, took the buses and the trains and stuff with the big windows and just looked outside, took it all in.
And I asked that question because I also definitely did touristy things. When I was in London, I went by the London Eye. I took my pictures. Went by Big Ben, took my pictures. I went to there's a phone booth that has Big Ben in the background that people literally line up to take pictures by. So I did all the touristy things. When we were in Paris, I got my Eiffel Tower pictures in.
Nice.
I got them in. I was a tourist. We're in New York City. There's always a lot of tourists. When I was at Princeton, there was always a lot of tourists on our campus. So I think beforehand, I would always be annoyed at all these people disrupted my day-to-day, blah, blah, blah. But then I went across the world and I did the exact same thing. So I'm like, I understand it a little more. I bring all this up because I saw some articles about how mostly in European countries, people are doing these anti-tourism protests. In Spain, they were literally squirting people with water guns who were eating outside because they were like, we don't like how you're kind of taking over a country. I don't even truly understand what the reasons are. So I'm just more curious about what your thoughts are on, especially for countries where I feel like a lot of the economy is supported by tourism. What are your thoughts on locals kind of fighting back, pushing back against tourism?
I mean, I definitely understand it because I mean, when I think about like countries that a lot of their economy is tourism, like I've gotten to go to the Bahamas a bunch of times, which is always super fun. And that's how it is down there. Like a lot of their economy is tourism. But I also get why there might be like disdain or like even resentment because I mean it's a weird dynamic there because all of the like workers when you go to resorts and stuff are black. And a lot of the people that like do travel there and take their families there and have homes there are white. And a lot of them are also like capitalists that make a lot of money and also contribute in a lot of ways to like the environment and pollution and like just that whole process of like disintegration. And like the Bahamas is very threatened by like sea levels rising and like the CO2 levels and all that stuff. And that'll be like one of the first places that like goes underwater if that were to be the future, you know? And so that is kind of nasty because they as a country have like very uh like damn near zero like carbon footprint. And so it's kind of all these like there's like hurricanes and stuff there all the time, which is kind of caused by these other things. I don't know if like everybody there is thinking about it this deep.
Yeah.
This is like I think about this sometimes.
Yeah.
And so yeah, that's kind of nasty. And then there is also like a weird dynamic in like the way people are treated. And I think tourists a lot of times are very like entitled. I mean, I'm a tourist a lot of times too.
Yeah.
But I like try and be mindful of that. But I definitely understand. I mean, if you like live in a place and you feel like people come there but they don't really like respect it, you know, like I feel like if I lived in the Bahamas and people were to come and always just be like, oh my God, like everybody here is so nice and it's so like laid back. Maybe I should just move down here.
Yeah, although honestly, I feel like the that is a good example, and I
Yeah.
think there's different dynamics at play there versus some of the European countries where it's like Barcelona and Mallorca and all these places
Yeah.
where it's like predominantly white people who do live there and a lot of people traveling. People of all different races travel, but it'll be a lot of white people also traveling to these countries. And I'm trying to think of like, could you imagine if when I saw people walking around our campus because there was always a lot of tourists, I'm like, I start spraying water on them,
Yeah, that is a good
or
idea.
I'm like in Times Square and because people are my way, I start spraying water on them.
Yeah.
I'm like, I feel like as a global population, there's not a responsibility. If you're fortunate enough to be able to travel
Yeah.
and spend that money, even if you save up for a long time or if you're just able to do that on a whim, I think a big part of our global experience is going to different places and experiencing those cultures.
Yeah, for
And
sure.
they are going to be contributing to the economy. They might be a little bit, they might be rude, they might inconvenience you a little bit, but at the end of the day, I think we all grow a lot more when we are experiencing other people's cultures. I think traveling is one of the best ways to like expand your worldview.
Yeah.
And so it's such I hate my short answer is I hate this. Like I don't know why you're protesting tourists. Like get over yourselves, quite honestly. I don't even care if that sounds harsh because again, I live in places where there's a lot of tourists and I will get over myself because again, someone might have been waiting to come to New York City their whole life and now they're here and they might be in my way taking a picture in front of like the buildings downtown, but like good for them. Let me help you take the picture.
Yeah.
I don't understand why it's that deep and why people can't be more supportive. But then again, this goes back to me being I'm like a kumbaya guy. Like, why can't we all just get along?
Yeah.
I think these people should get over themselves. Let people go to your cities and your town. Let them
Mhm.
experience it. And like, it's not all about you.
I agree. I mean, I agree with you that I think traveling is important, but I do think tourism in one way is kind of it's like another version of like colonization in a certain way. I mean, and I also think I mean it's not that if somebody's like coming and like tourism is like hiking prices up and like, you
Hmm.
can't afford it and you get displaced, I'll be blown too. So I
Hmm.
think of it not that different from like gentrification. It's just like a cycle of people rather than people like coming and settling. And
Yeah.
there's always going to be people there. So if you feel like with like tourism, the wherever places that have been like kind of like claimed as by people that aren't from there, if those start to like expand or even by them being there, it's going to like change things and it might help the economy at large, but not the natives So that's kind of how I view it. I mean, I haven't been to like Barcelona and like really seen it, but that's kind of how I think of it. And even with the like squirting water on people, like yeah, obviously that's annoying. Like,
Yeah, no, I wish some Barcelonian would squirt water
yeah,
on
and
me.
everybody out there squirting people with water guns and like just be careful, you know. But I also think there is some level of value to it because here we are having this conversation.
Yeah, true.
And yeah, that's how I think of it. I didn't know that was like a thing that was happening with tourism. But
And even I think in Japan somewhere there was this town that had a great view of some mountain, and so then the town put up like a blocker so you can't go to take pictures. I'm like, come
yeah,
on, man, let him get their Instagram flicks.
yeah.
I don't really care. But okay, speaking of Paris, the Olympics are going on. The Olympics are going on. We had the opening ceremony yesterday. We're recording this on what? Saturday, July 27th, 2024.
Oh, I got a hot take about this.
About the Olympics in
Yeah,
general.
go on though. Go on.
No, I was just gonna turn it back to you. I was, did you watch the opening ceremony? And how excited are you for the Olympics?
I did watch the oh no, I don't know why I said that. That was a lie. I did not I did not watch the opening ceremony. The last one I watched was in Beijing. That was super cool. They had
Damn, all the way in 08?
yeah,
Where they did the
yeah.
drum shit. Boom, boom.
I don't remember the drums, but I remember they had they had like a bunch of suits on and there was like figure skaters and stuff. I could be completely remembering this
I only
wrong.
remember
was
the
like
drums
7.
because I saw a clip of it on Twitter yesterday.
Yeah. But it was, I mean, I saw they had like polo suits on and Braun had a different color suit,
Shout out LeBron.
a
man.
white suit.
Shout out LeBron.
Who gets my point?
Okay.
Either way. Yeah, I'm joking.
No. I was just gonna say quickly on LeBron. I've never been a LeBron guy. Everybody who knows me knows I've been an MJ guy ever since I watched The Last Dance.
Really? I did not know that.
Ever since I watched The Last Dance, that cemented me like MJ over Jordan. I've never been. I might be a Bron hater.
I used to want LeBron to be my dad. I'm not even lying. Sometimes I still do. I'm about to turn 24.
I was about to say, I think it might be a little too late for that.
Yeah.
But no, I was just gonna say the picture he posted on his Instagram holding the flag on the boat with all the American flags behind him and all the athletes behind him. That might be one of the single greatest pictures I've ever seen taken in my life.
Yeah, it was hard.
That is a phenomenal picture. And all it's doing is just pushing the agenda. Like, this might be just the greatest human being ever.
You know why? You know what I think is underrated about that picture?
What?
The timing of it. Because he eclipsed the Donald Trump picture of him getting popped.
True. That's the greatest
as
American.
like an American picture.
That's the greatest American flag
He
picture
had like
that's happened
he had like a week and a half run
that did have
before
a.
Braun came in there.
And can we just? That picture was hard too. I can't. Well, I appreciate good pictures. I think I'm a pretty.
That photographer did a very good job.
Everyone says this about themselves, but I think I'm pretty objective about a lot of things. I take a lot out of stuff, and I'm just like, that's a picture.
Yeah. The photographer really did.
He did his thing. Flag in the background, blood on the air, fist up, secret.
Because that's immortalized.
You
had to be in the right.
So I'm going to leave that alone because I don't really touch on politics on here, but that hard picture. But the LeBron picture, timing was great. American. I don't like how you're looking at me.
No.
I think it was, I saw this say it was great picture. LeBron, and the fact that he is 39 years old, he's been dominating the play for Team USA. I saw this one tweet that was like, Team USA basketball shows you the hashtag, the real hierarchy.
Yeah, for real.
The hierarchy's coming out. LeBron he's still that guy, even at 39 years old.
When Jordan was 39, and I like Jordan too. Like, I would probably I didn't get to watch Michael Jordan.
Yeah, none of us did, yeah.
I did watch some games of the finals, like the 96, 97 finals when they played the Jazz, because they have the full games on. If you have League Pass, you can go online and watch the full games. That was not, he was nice. He was cold, but some of those role players were very bad. But at the same time, though, I would say this. My coach played in the NBA for 7 years or something like that. And he was a role player. He didn't have like an incredible NBA run. I think a lot of it was because of injuries. But to this day, he'll go out there and shoot and like he'll like airball the first two, but then he'll make like 20 straight, like not hitting the rim. So I know that they're different. But for whatever reason on film, you see some wild stuff out there when you watch the games in the 90s.
Yeah, fair.
So, I don't really know where I was going with this.
Yeah, fair enough.
But the Olympics. I mean, I don't know. I think it'll be cool. You definitely do see the hierarchy. I would like to see Ant Edwards go out there and take a lot of shots. I don't know if that's exactly what's gonna happen, but it is cool to see Braun like leading the charge at 40.
I agree. I also feel like that's kind of the beauty of the Olympics is America's such a divided country. But even again, when you see LeBron leading the charge, it's like, damn, you feel connected to that. You feel like for these 14 days, let's all just get behind our athletes and put aside all these differences to try to compete for the one goal of getting the country the gold. It's the Olympics. And even just more broadly, and we've spoken about this before, there's something about I love sports of
Yeah.
all kind. I'm always watching sports. The Olympics is just another perfect example of seeing people's dreams realized, things that they've been
Yeah.
working for to their whole life. That is my single favorite thing about sports.
Yeah.
There are very few other areas in life where you can actually watch people's journey and
Yeah.
watch that accumulating factor of everything I've been working so hard for, I've achieved. But sports is the best way to see that.
Yeah.
So I
for sure.
literally watched the entire, not that, I watched like 80% of the opening ceremony yesterday.
That's fire. But yeah, no,
'Cause
I mean,
I'm just to
Yeah.
finish the point is that and just seeing the pride on the athletes' faces representing their country. I was watching some sport like the judo finals, like women's judo, some weight class, and seeing the pride when this Japanese lady won. My favorite, I've said this to you the other day, is whenever I watch a championship, I always watch until they hoist the trophy because that is the moment where it's like,
Yeah.
oh fuck, everything I've worked for, this is it in this one moment. That's one of the most beautiful things in the world to me.
yeah.
And so even if these athletes hate the country, but they, it's a moment to again achieve that level of glory for something they've been working for to their whole life. I love it.
I also think too, to like the nationalism piece of it, I don't know if that's actually being unified as much as it is like a trick. You know what I mean? Or like a distraction because the Olympics is all of like a few weeks and
It's
then,
like 2
we
weeks,
go
yeah.
back. And it happens every 4 years.
Yeah.
And like it's not, I don't know if that was like a conduit to like social progress. It's more just like something that happens and like we all watch and like feel good about ourselves. But it's not like it like changes anything.
Oh yeah, I don't think it changes anything, but I do
Yeah.
think there is some value in let's put aside all our differences for 2 weeks. Let's rep our country, every single word in the world, and then let's just put our best foot forward. And then we could go back to fighting each other a couple weeks later. It's kind of like I forget what war it was, either World War One or two. Some story about how they like stopped fighting to like play a soccer game, some shit like that, where it's like, oh, we're gonna get back to it right after, but for this moment in time, let's just put aside all the bullshit and let's unite behind this one common front. Do you have any bold predictions across any of the sports for the Olympics?
I really don't know anything about any of the sports outside of basketball. I'm sure
Do
I
you
will
think Team
find
USA
out.
men win gold? We've been having this
Uh,
conversation since Canada in February.
Yeah, I mean, I think they should. I definitely think they should, but I don't think as much. It's definitely not like a foregone conclusion. I mean, because they like went down to the wire with South Sudan.
South Sudan.
But I also think too that they get a lot of flack because people would be like acting like they're or people would talk about the rest of the world catching up. But I also feel like that's kind of a good thing for basketball.
It's a good
You know
thing
what I
for the
mean? So
sport.
like I don't understand as much of like the panic. Like what if we lose in the Olympics, then what? The NBA it's not really, it's still gonna be entertaining. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And like there's like a stat that I saw like Kevin Durant and Steph Curry talking about. The Dream Team, they played against like 6 NBA players,
Something
and like
like
they're
that,
playing
yeah.
against like 60.
Exactly. Yeah.
Yeah, which is
It's
pretty cool.
it's a different. Yeah, I think it is good for the rest of the world to be catching up.
Yeah, oh my bad.
No.
I was also gonna say like as a like just a basketball fan, it is cool to see just the different styles of play mesh. It kind of reminds me of like college, because in the NBA for the most part everybody plays the same, like in terms of just like what they run and stuff like that. Whereas like in college, in the tournament you see like a real like mix of like play
Range of
styles.
styles,
Yeah,
yeah.
yeah. So like in the Olympics it's kind of like that.
Yeah, because
So you
each
see
country.
like NBA players trying to adjust to the way the game is played in like this other country, and then
Yeah.
like vice versa.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think as far as Bolton, I think Team USA gets the gold. I don't think it'll be. I think I said in our chat they'll win by an average of like 23 points. I think they might win by an average of like 11, but I think they will
Yeah.
get the gold.
I got a question.
What's that?
Has Jamaica had another bobsled team since Cool Runnings?
That's a great question. That's Winter Olympics though, but that's a good
Oh,
question.
snap.
Yeah, no.
Winter Olympics, that would be 2026.
Yeah, so that's they every 2
Yeah.
years.
That's
So-
what I want to find out about. I want to
That's-
find out about the teams that qualify for the first time. I would love to see South Korea run track one day.
We don't need that.
What do you mean?
I mean, if they're good at it, sure. But if
Yeah,
there's
and
not
I'm
gonna
South Korean, so I hope. Yeah. Yeah,
But I mean, speaking of track, do you know who Noah Lyles is?
yeah, he said he was the one that made the comment about like the
Best NBA champions are not world champions because they haven't actually beat anyone in the world, which I'm not mad at that. I actually agree with that. I think, yes, you are in the best league in the world, so theoretically you would beat any other team in the world, but it is an American championship, so stop calling yourself world champions. I don't disagree with them. I don't think that was as hot of a take as people are making it out to be.
I think this is my whole thing, and this might be like a very annoying thing to say, but I think that this conversation stirred up a lot of debate, but it does not matter at all.
Oh, I mean, half the shit we debate about is
That's true.
not
That's a good point.
not even half. I would say 75% of the things we spend time arguing about are of little to no consequence.
Yeah,
So
that's true. But I
that's
feel
just the
like-
internet. Yeah.
But even like I don't know, a lot of times like in sports, you know, you'll debate about like which team from which year is better, which
Mhm.
player is better. Whereas this is like it really doesn't matter. It's kind of just like semantics, damn near.
Yeah.
But I mean, I think he actually had a point. I know everybody threw him under the bus pretty fast, which was kind of hilarious to see. And kudos to him for taking that stance because that took a lot of balls. But I mean, the NBA is still
It's the best league in the world.
yeah, like hands down.
If you,
So,
yes, you would
and
beat
that's-
any other team around the world. Yes. I
Yeah,
agree.
and that is the best team
yes.
in the world. Like,
But
I would
with that
say-
being said, still not a world championship.
yeah, that is true. That is true.
Yeah. Something like the World Cup, world championship. When you run track,
Yeah.
world championship. So again, it is just semantics, but I actually agree with what he
Yeah.
was saying.
I'm interested to see how the NBA like expands and if they expand to other countries because I know they've talked about putting a team in Mexico City,
They have.
which is interesting. I
Yeah.
don't know if that'll happen, but I think they are interested in it. Or putting teams in like Europe. Like they talked about putting teams in Paris, and then they would have it so that like people travel there. You play like all 4 games,
Yeah.
whatever, and then come home. I'm super interested to see that because at that point, or not at that point, because that's only like 2 continents. But at a certain point, you would if they did expand enough to where I mean, you know, very far into the future.
Yeah,
but
yeah,
it
yeah.
could be like a real world championship.
That's fair. That could be. It could be true. But okay, we are time flies.
Yeah.
One last Olympics. No, you're good. No, don't apologize. This
I
is
got
this is why I'm here to reel us back in. Last Olympics focus thing. Snoop Dogg. He has been calling some of the games. He was at the opening ceremony. He was a not flag bearer. He was part of the people holding the Olympic flame, whatever that procession shit was called. Do we think there's more of a national treasure than Snoop Dogg? Who is the most liked American, do you think?
The most liked American. I don't know. It's hard. I feel like with social media, we know a lot about our celebrities, which is unfortunate. And so I don't know how many people are just universally accepted. Maybe like
Snoop Dogg's got to be one of them. Who dislikes Snoop Dogg?
That you know what's crazy about that too? When he like first got famous, it was around like Murder Was the Case that they gave me. And now he's like hosting the Olympics. and,
Yeah.
like doing like voice.
The duality of life.
Yeah.
That man, he's done it all.
I'm trying to think.
I think so. I think
About
Snoop Dogg, Dwayne Johnson, I think is up there. The Rock, people love The Rock.
Yeah, people do like The Rock.
I
They said
hope
should
he
run for
stays away from
president, which
politics.
is
Yeah,
terrifying.
don't do that. He shouldn't do that.
Yeah.
If he stays out of politics, he will stay low. I think Dwayne Johnson. I think people love John Cena too. But outside of those, like Oprah, some people are iffy about her. But I think, yeah, between Snoop Dogg and Dwayne Johnson, those might be the 2 most liked Americans that exist.
Yeah, maybe I'm trying to think. Maybe Are there people out there with smoke for Bill Nye or Tony Hawk?
Okay, now we're talking. Bill Nye and Tony Hawk are 2 great answers. Well, I don't think they're as. No, they are. No, they probably are as popular. Great answers. Great answers. Bill Nye and Tony. I like that. Those 4 right there.
Yeah.
Bill Nye, Tony Hawk, Dwayne Johnson.
Yeah.
And I'm even going to bump John Cena out of there. I think Dwayne Johnson's on a different level than John Cena. So those are.
Yeah.
And then Snoop Dogg.
Because those are like 2 like the coolest white celebrities.
Yeah. Neil deGrasse Tyson, maybe? Some people think he's corny, but
So I love Neil deGrasse Tyson,
But he's
but
got
there is
haters.
smoke for Neil deGrasse.
yeah, he's got
Tyson,
haters.
though.
He's got haters. He's got
for
haters.
sure. But
Okay.
but Tony Hawk.
Look at that. Look how time flies. We got to jump to our last two segments because we are
cool.
actually a little bit over an hour already.
Oh, my bad.
Don't stop
Big yapper.
apologizing. This is not an issue. This has been a great episode.
Sorry.
First segment, I have my guests come with 5 songs to describe who they are as a person. I leave it open for interpretation. Can you say each song and say the reason?
I would say Blow the Whistle because not because, and I do not condone, or support the things he was saying in that song, but that's such a hard question to like songs that define you. You know what I mean? So I try not to think about it too deep.
I didn't even say define. I say song. I guess define you.
Yeah,
Fair.
but there are certain songs that for whatever reason just connect with you. You know what I mean? Like certain songs just kind of move you and make you want to dance.
Yep.
And something about that don't and Blow the Whistle, like it just really gets me going, So I would say Blow the Whistle for sure.
Okay.
I would also say Dangerously in Love for the same reason, because I always feel like I have to scream the hook. That I am in love with you. But I scream it.
Okay.
That wasn't
okay.
Yeah. And then I would also say there's a song called War Paint by Benny the Butcher, and there's a verse on there from Conway the Machine. And on the song is all about like being in the streets and selling cocaine, which I have never done. But
thank you for clarifying.
Yeah, but there is a line from Conway where he tells a story, and he talks about being at the Rock Nation brunch, and he shook Beyonce's hand, and his fiance started to cry, and he didn't know if it was because she was such a fan of her or if she realized he was just the man. And I always thought that was so fire. I would like to have a moment like that in my life where I feel like validated. Not validated by my like future fiance, if that ever happens, but
if that ever happens.
Well, you never know. You never know. You never know.
All right.
And so either way, we go back to that. I mean, we probably don't have time.
Yeah, we do.
Yeah, but so I always think of that because I would like to get it to a moment where I'm like,
yeah,
super cool. And just the way he said it was so hard.
I'll listen to that after this. You said War Paint? Okay, dope.
Yeah, and then the last two, I feel like I had to include something by Isaiah Rashad because that's probably my. I'm not a big believer in favorites, but he always cycles around as like one of my favorite rappers, and I'm a huge Isaiah Rashad fan. So I would say he had a song called Heavenly Father, which is actually very sad, but it's like one of my favorite songs by him.
Okay.
And
number 5.
For a while. Number 5. I can't remember the 5th one. It was probably, let me check.
Yeah, I'm about to say, yeah, pull it out. People always think it's a memory test. It's not a memory test.
Yeah. That was a fun exercise though, because I'm a big music person. If you ever want to have a conversation out here about music,
I was about to say I wanted to incorporate more music things because of you. So yeah, we'll run it back.
My bad.
Yeah.
I'm gonna stop saying my bad.
yeah, stop apologizing.
I'm a big tangent guy. Last one, I would say I'm Sprung.
I'm Sprung.
Yeah. It's just a great song. Really gets me going. And I really like it. And I'm a big T-Pain guy. I feel like if he was more, not that T-Pain is ugly. I love T-Pain, and if I were to ever meet him, I would love for him to be my friend. But if he were to be more conventionally attractive,
well said.
I feel like
he would be the biggest star in the world.
Not that he would be the biggest star in the world, but he would have been able to sustain his motion for a lot longer. Because he made Rapper Turn Singer when he was like 18, which is crazy. And he's super talented. He's written for a lot of people. I don't feel like he gets enough love.
Did you listen to his live album that he put out like probably 5-6 months ago at this point?
Nah.
You didn't listen, bruv? Okay, you got to tap in. Phenomenal. I'll send it to you after. His cover of Tennessee Whiskey, I might like more than the original song. And I love Tennessee Whiskey.
Really?
But I'll send it to you after. Okay, very last segment on the show. I have my guests manifest their life 10 years in the future to the most specific detail possible. You are how old, 23?
Yeah. I'm about to turn 24, though.
Okay, but you're 23 right now. When you are 33 years old, ideally, where's Nate Martin to the most specific detail possible? Manifest that for yourself.
Hopefully, healthy, happy, and a more healed version of myself than I am right now. And a kind and virtuous person. That is who I would like to be. I don't know exactly where life is going to take me or what I'm going to end up doing, but I hope I can do something fulfilling, something that I like, and get paid for it. And hopefully have a lot of good people around me that I love and care about, and go to bed every day feeling like I'm happy about like who I am, and feeling happy and comfortable with my decisions, feeling like I'm a good person, feeling like I do well by people. Not that I don't, not that I feel like I'm a like, bad person.
You don't do any of that right now. Yeah.
Yeah. In the beginning, when I said I was a terrible person, I was a joke. joke.
If you made it this far,
Yeah,
it was a
don't judge
joke.
me, yeah. And then I would like to be like good at things, like pick up a skill, like random skills. Because by that time, I imagine at the very least, my brother will have kids, and my oldest brother already has kids. And the cool part about being like an uncle is you could do like magic tricks and stuff for your kids. So I want them to think I'm really cool.
Great answer. That's a phenomenal answer. Nate, thank you for coming on the podcast. Like this was always going to be a good conversation.
Yeah.
I'm not like, what else did you expect?
Yeah, one thing, yeah, especially because we bonded, we got close because we're both internet people.
We are internet people. We speak in memes.
Yeah, exactly.
I speak in memes. Yeah.
For sure.
But yeah, no. This is. Do you have any final words for the people?
Nah, man. Just,
He said it all already.
Yeah.
There you have it.
I wish.
My final words for the people. Actually, I got nothing either.
Oh, listen to Go with the Flow. That would be my final words. Like and subscribe, and tell a friend to tell a friend.
My man.
And if you don't know about it,
my man, now you know.
If you don't know about it,
now you know. This has been another episode of Go with the Flow. Thank you for listening.
I didn't want to say it.
I didn't know that. I did not know the end of that one.